I'm going to call this Trouble with Harmonic Balancer, 96 Jeep Cherokee. So I got the puller from the store, borrowed, had to pay $100-something to borrow it. I got my wrenches and whatnot, and a new harmonic balancer. What goes wrong is the ring inside there is separated, so now this part spins freely, slides and jocks. So first symptom was my belt kept flying off. So now that I got the puller on there, it's trying to seat it down all the way, but it won't seat all the way. I got metal shavings falling out. Got bits and pieces of stuff everywhere. Try to tighten everything down. The instructions tell me to use this on a Chrysler in my year, and it's supposed to grab on, and then you put the push rod through it, and you use this different one, and it seats differently, and you tighten that down. But that's not working because there's nothing to grab onto on the backside. See, it looks great on the new one. Looks like there's lots of meat. It's supposed to grab on right here. But when it's in there, there's something sitting there, and there's nothing to grab onto, so it slides off. So screw that. So I've got it up in here. Everybody, all the YouTube videos say, "Oh, just slide your ratchet on." Well, unless I'm pulling the whole frame off of my car, I don't see how I'm going to put anything on there. So. And nobody mentions it spinning freely when you get on there either. So I greased it like I'm supposed to, and got it seated down as best as I can, like I mentioned. I mean, you can see on here, like, this will slide forward and backwards because it's free spinning. So the inside is the inner part. And then some guys are like, "Oh, just shove your thing up in there and pry it off." I've been spinning about an hour on this so far. So I got my big ass crescent, sliding it on there. Yeah, hard to do one-handed. But anyways, you get the picture. Sliding that on there, put my foot on there, and pulling as hard as I can, and trying not to break my, rental that's going to cost me $100-something. So when I've got it in there, it just starts to spin. So then I take my smaller crescent wrench, and I shove it in between and wait until it hits up here. And then it hits the frame, and I'm trying not to break my transmission hose. And this has been a blast, man. Just so you guys know, 96 Jeep Cherokee, straight 6, 4-liter. Awesome time. I'll make another video if I get it off. Having fun. Hope you guys figure it out better than I do. So I'm wrenching on it some more. Got my foot down there. Got my handle on here. You hear stuff starting to give. People talk about hitting it with a hammer, but I don't know. First time I didn't seat these all the way down, and first time I didn't do some other things. I didn't grease this. I don't know. It seemed like this was at a different angle, so maybe it wasn't sitting flat. So maybe the best thing is just make sure everybody's sitting tight. It seems to be spinning now. So it seems like maybe it finally broke loose. So I must have done it right this time. Everything that I showed you. Because now it seems to be moving along. Oh, look at that. Look, see that light? It's separated, but it only separated from one side. Interesting. Look at that. So now what should I do? Hammer it? Get my heavy hammer. I mean, not too heavy, but... I don't know, man. That's an interesting dilemma. Alright, get my pry bar. Come from this side. Not much to pry from anymore. It's starting to move. I just don't want to break anything. Main concern here. I think it may be free. Just not completely free. No. Alright, I think I got it. It wiggles, so I'm just going to pull on it and wrench it, and it seems to be free. Alright, so as I'm undoing it, it seems like just this bolt was stuck still. The whole thing seems to be free now that I've loosened the bolts. So, seems like everybody's good. But if you look, it's like those two were nice and loose, and this one's still tight. So as I wrench it loose, I can tell the wheel's coming free. The whole thing's free, so it seems like it's working. So, for one, there's a washer in there. You're supposed to take the washer off first. Silly me. Anyways, part of the issue being that it actually broke. And that's why there was 2 bolts that seemed to be free and 1 bolt that seems to still be attached. Because it's actually still attached. I never freed it. So that's a whole new fucking problem. And you can tell why I was getting threading metal shavings, because when I'm screwing into bolts, they tell you to screw them in all the way. Well, I'm screwing them into my freaking crankshaft. So yay! Good times all around. Okay, so without the washer in place, it sits a lot nicer, and I've got that 1 thread in there, so I'm just going to try to do the same thing to remove what's left of my Harmonic Balancer Crankshaft Pulley. I guess we live and we learn. Hopefully you guys will learn to remove the washer. Okay, so obviously this is shot. The heat and everybody's gotten to it. This part was spinning freely of this part. There's supposed to be more in the center there that I guess this is what's left on my crankshaft. So I tried putting this in with the 1 thread that was left and then hammering on it a little bit, but there's so little room it hardly worked. So with this puller that I rented, it comes with the claw type one. As you see, I've got 2 claws kind of on it, and I'm turning to see if I can pull the piece out. So the push rod goes through the center, which is probably why my directions didn't mention the washer, because the puller wouldn't matter. So turn it slightly, kind of hard to do. So we'll see if it works. Okay, so I took the torch and I heated it up and cranked it up. Heated just the piece, you know, I backed it pretty far away from it, just to the point where it was kind of hot to touch with my glove on. And then I sprayed it a bunch with the WD-40. Went and sat, had a coffee, posted on the Jeep forum. Hopefully they'll answer some questions, but I'm going to try again. Put the claw on there and keep going. Okay, so I went to Harbor Freight and I got a $10 tap and die set. I got my 5/16 18 tap ready. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one's got a little tip on it. So I'm going to hammer that one in, set a little starter point. Since it's cast iron, I'll start with a smaller bit, the 3/16. Then I'll move up to the 1/4 inch. Should be relatively good. And then that'll give me enough room to start doing this. You turn it in a 1/4 inch, back it out, make sure to oil it, turn in another 1/4 turn, back it out, clean the little centerpieces every so often, just go slow. So since I have 1 hole left, I'm going to have to do it in the meat that's left over here and up over here. And so I should be able to use the pulley again. So we'll see how that goes. I'll let you know. There's plenty of videos on how to do this. I'm just hoping there's plenty of meat right there to do this. It looked like it was going to work out. Okay, so I pulled the bumper off, which was not an easy task because we had bent our bumper bracket, and so it was really hard to get in there. I had to use a crazy funky tool or extension, but now I got a hole that I can work on or through, and you see I have so far drilled 1 hole in there. And the attempt is to drill another one up there. We'll see how easy that is. But for now I got 1 and 2 with my drill. Now I get to take the tap set and try to put it through. Alright, so where these match. And I can then put this through there. And this piece should line up nicely to where it'll all work out. Wish me luck. Tight space here, but it seems to be working. Alright, so it worked. I put on the pulley and it all worked up and lined up. So I cranked the engine just enough and went "Meow," just to rotate it. So now I can get to the last one. Yeah! Okay, so I got them all three drilled. You can see there's the third hole there. Just gonna put it in. Here we are, back on the underside. So I got all three tightened down pretty well. And of course, back to using the crescent wrench because it can't fit in here. Let's see how she goes. Almost seems as if it's working. The moment of truth. Holy moly, it looks like it's working. Just slow and steady wins the race at this stage. There she is. All this day and a half worth of work. Just don't forget the washer next time. Duh. Here she comes. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but I can see it where I'm at. Yep, there she goes. My hands are cramping up. Sorry for all the noise. There it is. Oh, sweet success. Now you know what a puller's supposed to look like. Minus all the flywheel getting in your way. The crankshaft pulley. You don't need all that crankshaft pulley. You just need a little bit in the center. Ta-da! Thank you very much. Alright, ta-da! Let's see what I made here now. Kinda crazy, but it worked.